What's happening, folks? Back with another reaction, back with some more Richie Sambora and his 1998 album Undiscovered Soul. Thank you as always to Michaela. And the next track in the playlist is the cleverly phrased Hard Times Come Easy. Obviously there's a conceptual contrast of hard and easy. It does feel like a very blues style title, which, if I'm reading it right, essentially means that life is full of difficulties, the world is full of difficulties, and thus the chances that circumstances will be challenging, unfair, or burdensome, even painful, seems quite likely, certainly over a long enough timeline. So hard times come easy seems to indicate that life is full of struggle, sorrow, pain, and perhaps recognizing that and facing it with clear eyes is the first step in getting through life as reasonably as possible, which again feels like a very blues song style title. So let's give it a listen and see if it's anything like that. This is Richie Sambora. The tune is Hard Times Come Easy, and it's from his 1998 album Undiscovered Soul.
It's amazing, we go through changes, times get crazy, it's up and down, it's hot and cold. These complications just keep on coming, there ain't no running, when it comes to life that's how it goes. Round and round we go, sometimes it feels like we're on a roller coaster ride. Don't you know, it could eat you up if you try to keep it all inside. Seems like hard times come easy, we do a lot of hanging on the
curious. It didn't sound like a live recording for most of that, but that, sort of small club audience, it felt like a very kind of intimate ovation there at the end, like a couple dozen people, something like that. It felt something like like a blues club, but maybe that's just kind of for the context. Maybe, that was, sort of layered into the track and it wasn't actually recorded live, though maybe it was, I'm not sure. Nevertheless, very much what I was thinking in advance lyrically as far as I caught it, but again, hopeful. So in a way, like, blues rock, certainly sonically there's that electric organ in there and definitely some, bluesy guitar and just an overall blues rock feel, but thematically more almost like pushing into like gospel, and that there's like, hope and the idea of, again, if you learn to take it on the chin and recognize that's kind of what life is, and you just have to learn to roll with the punches and to, try to find a way ahead. And it seemed like there's a belief here that, they will make it, he will make it. And, if you can acknowledge that and be clear-eyed about it, then that's the first step to living a life that can still be enjoyable and productive and full of good emotions. So in that respect, it felt like, again, it was sort of pushing into a more kind of like, if not spiritual, certainly a hopeful type of vein that, again, maybe had a bit of a gospel styling. And maybe I'm inclined to think that because the chorus had those hand claps and, like, I don't know if a tambourine was in there, but it felt like, sonically even, the chorus was kind of pushing in that direction. I want to know who that backing vocal was in the back couple minutes of the tune, because there was this real kind of soulful, bluesy vocalization of, like, kept saying the word hard, like hard times, and whoever that was had a really, like, soulful delivery. So overall, and to be fair, Richie's vocals on this one also very feeling and passionate, and it felt like they just hit the perfect style for this type of tune. So yeah, definitely a good tune and one that I enjoyed following lyrically. So again, let me know what you think, and I will see you next time. Peace.